Should we talk about the television program now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, AEW this past Wednesday night on the road to the Grand Slam or the Grand Scam or the Grand Slam at the Arthur Ashe Tennis Stadium. They had their two semifinal matches in the World Title Tournament. It was necessitated because of Punk's injury and then the media scrum and blah, blah, blah. And the first semifinal match was Moxley versus Sammy Guevara. And of course, they're trying to keep the audience. And as we'll talk about later on, Brian, get those numbers up. They're doing a little crowing. We're going to have to crow a little with them about how good their numbers were, because they actually put this thing together like a fucking wrestling card instead of, a family reunion that you want to duck out of an hour early, beat the traffic. But the first thing I wrote when I saw it's Moxley and Sammy, and I said, good Lord, they are in such a state, it has to fall to Plumber Moxley to be the savior of this company. And when they started out, I'm not sure what the fuck Sammy was trying to do to Moxley in the corner. It looked like shit. He was trying to stomp a mud hole in him, but I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Sammy did a dive. Well, I should say that for the people who were convinced that I'd lost my mind when I said that Moxley's promo last week was not only perfect, it was brilliant. It was exactly what their fans needed to hear. It was great material delivered beautifully. There's no mystery now. He's not going to change his style of wrestling while being asked to step up and be one of the guys to carry this company. He's going to do the same matches. They traded chops on purpose. Sammy did 2 dives. Then they fought on the floor. And Sammy bounced Moxley's head off the steel stairs, and then the fans patted the heel on the back for doing it. It sounds like I'm making this up to be funny, but I'm not. That's exactly what happened. And then they went to the break. So when they came back, the first thing you saw was Moxley gave a flying bulldog to Sammy head first on the apron of the ring. So again, just because he came out there and was a great statesman one week apparently doesn't mean that he intends to actually start having logical quality wrestling matches. Moxley gave Sammy a double arm suplex off the top rope and got a 2 count. 5 seconds later, Sammy was reversing a double wrist lock into a Boston Crab. Sammy kicked Moxley in the back of the head. Moxley staggered, and you had to have seen this one. This is where Moxley was in the corner, in the turnbuckles, and Sammy's on the apron, and he jumps up and gives him the enziguri in the back of the head, right? And Moxley actually staggers out, taking steps toward the middle of the ring, reaches back while selling the enziguri and pulls his pants up, turns around to face Sammy, and places himself in the right place so that he can watch Sammy jump from the apron to the top rope, then to the other top rope, and then do a backflip so that Moxley can stick his head out towards Sammy so Sammy could hit his move, and he got a 2 count. Did you see that one?
I did see that, yes.
Can you explain to me what the fuck is going through anybody's mind if you're a wrestler and you can do that move and somebody else agrees to take that move, after you see it on TV once, why do you ever do it again? Why does the guy doing it ever do it again? Why does the guy taking it ever do it again? Because it looks so phony. It may, in your mind, when you think, I can do this and, I can take it, but when you actually see how stupid and phony it makes both guys look, why do they ever do it again? So anyway, bear in mind, this is the World Championship Tournament. And don't worry, I'm not going to rip everything apart through the whole show because I see where they're trying and I'm going to give them due for that. But in this case, this is their World Championship Tournament. They're both down, Sammy and Moxley. And here comes Anna Jay and Ty Meloconti. And one of them jumps up on the apron of the ring and the other one runs around the other side. Of course, the referee is drawn to, I believe it was Anna Jay.
And who wouldn't be?
In this respect, it looked ridiculous. You see the two girls come down together, and then one of them goes around the ring. They weren't even trying to hide her from the referee. The referee just goes to one, ignores the other one. Ty rolls into the ring in high heels and just walks up and kicks Moxley in the balls from behind, and then leaves the ring. And Sammy small package 2 count. That wasn't even the. So now they're doing indie show spots with green girls in their world title tournament. Is not even the finish. The match went on. The presence of these women was not only not called for and not necessary, it distracted from the whole issue and made, in the go home stretch of this match, made them look extra phony. And then the match went on until finally they had run out of things to do, so Moxley just reversed Sammy's finish into his double arm suplex. Boom, 1, 2, 3. 20 minutes to get to that point. Could have been wonderful in 10 to 12, drop the girls and try to have a wrestling match, but nevertheless, they got to do their stunts. What'd you think?
You know, I wasn't crazy about the match, and I went into it pretty optimistic just because Sammy can do good stuff, even though he does a lot of stupid stuff, and then he brags about it with the, I'm crazy, and then he does something completely stupid. And Moxley, I mean, I still stand by the best Moxley match I've seen in AEW was the exploding ring match with Omega, where they had to tell the story of trying to stay in the ring and not go on the explosives that didn't work. It was the best match I thought he had there, but not a big fan of his stuff, not a big fan of his striking. We've talked about, they were on the floor for a long time. It was almost the entire commercial break. Was there no count at all? Of course there wasn't.
Because if you attempt to enforce any rules or parameters, Moxley can't have a fucking match. He refuses to. Maybe he could. We'll never find out. He won't.
The stuff with the girls, you're right, it wasn't well done. And also, I think a lot of people probably groaned as soon as there was any kind of run-in in a match like this. Yeah. AEW seems like they're having a lot more run-ins now than, maybe I'm wrong about that.
And there was no need of it. Because the babyface was going to win to begin with. You didn't need to fuck him, so you don't need to run in. And they were more than capable of doing a fucking false finish where Sammy looked like he almost had him, but he barely kicked out. That's all that we got out of this interference. And to be quite honest, if he didn't get that spot, it's fucking Sammy, and he ain't John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, or anybody of that, Chris Jericho, any name value that's going to get him out of this current predicament. This is about the world title. He could have got fucking beat. So it just adding more shit to complicate the issue because somebody likes a spot. What about if we do this? Well, what about if you shut your pie hole?
Well, the other thing, too, is I will say is a positive here, and this is a positive for AEW, although the word is Moxley was going to take a vacation, and he was called back because of everything that happened. They needed some star power.
A vacation, the only reason the idiot wrestles more than once a week is because he books himself on garbage shows to wrestle bank-addicted drug robbers. Why does he need a vacation from working 1 day a week?
Well, there's also travel to get to these places, but what I was going to say is he's there, and clearly they could use him, and boy, was this crowd into him. The crowd's not into a lot lately. It's not just a one-off thing now. It's multiple shows where the crowd is silent.
Yeah.
For a lot of stuff. They're into Moxley. Whatever I think about him, whatever I like or don't like about him, can't take that away from him. He's clearly the biggest baby face they got right now. And I thought he was great as a heel at the pay-per-view against Punk, and I wanted to see more of that. But you can't deny that reaction he got.
Well, no, that's why I say it's a shame that it has come down to Plumber Moxley to have to be the one to save the day here. But they like him. They're more into the entrance. He's been doing it for a year now. Maybe even longer than that with the Wild thing. He's been coming from the parking lot for goddamn forever. But they seem more into it now. They've lost some people that they would want to cheer for temporarily. And also they've had to push Moxley into service more. So yes, it's Moxley and Danielson is the right choice, as we'll get to, for their finals. But again, it would be wonderful if he would step up more than verbally, if he would realize that he has a wrestling style that he's enamored of that drastically limits people that are going to fucking appreciate what he's doing because it's the goddamn indie fucking mindset garbage wrestling fans that want to see shit on the floor and constant complete ignorance and ignoring the rules. But anyway, they're going to have to ride that swayback horse because that's the one they got that's already shod and ready to go.